So here's an update when it comes to Hedera. Recently, not too long ago, a couple of days ago, I should say, Cointelegraph made a post showcasing how, according to something called Sentiment, Hedera was ranked #1 in the world in the past 30 days from that post regarding top real-world asset projects by development activity. Now, I'll talk about the price of HBAR very soon, even though nothing I say is financial advice, but I think this chart right here showcases that Hedera, even at a time like this, when the market isn't doing the best, it's still able to have more development activity in terms of the realm of real-world asset, right? Than something like Chainlink, Avalanche, which is a very popular layer 1 blockchain, not to mention something like Stellar, and also, for instance, something in the case of VeChain and many others. I mean, this is pretty impressive. Now, granted, people like to allude to how HBAR is around 30 times lower than $3. Yeah, I get that. And also, naturally, on top of that, typically during a time like this, many developers don't really want to enter into this space anyways because of the market sentiment. But still, even despite that, the few that are choosing to enter, Hedera seems to be pretty popular within the aspect of real-world asset. And not to mention, HBAR, okay, again, it's around 30 times lower than $3, but isn't Chainlink also having a pullback? Or should I say Link, its native token? Yeah, much like HBAR. Also take a look at AVAX, right? When it comes to Avalanche, that's also having a pullback. Take a look at VET, which is VeChain's primary native token. That's also having a pullback. And also I'm a fan of VeChain and as well as Avalanche and even Chainlink. But again, they're all having a pullback pretty much in the grand scheme of things comparatively to where they once was not too long ago. So it's not like it's only HBAR. And not to mention, Hedera seems to, again, be pretty popular when it comes to developers in the case of real-world assets, which a lot of people like to tell me, who cares about that? Well, if we think about it, what is real-world assets, right? Or should I say RWAs? Now, if I take a look at it more specifically, if I take a look at, let's say in the case of RWA tokens, they're digital representations of physical assets on the blockchain. They could, for instance, be in a use case for like art, for instance, or like real estate, whatever. I mean, there's a bunch of possibilities, but I'm just saying. When it comes to this, though, this seems to be a pretty big narrative not too long ago, RWAs. And still, even as of right now, Hedera seems to be a top destination for a lot of developers. Now, people like to see, who cares about this? Well, unlike many other projects out there, Hedera Hashgraph doesn't utilize traditional blockchain technology. It uses something called a directed acyclic graph. So it's just different. That's the way you take a look at it. It's just unique. So probably that could be a major driving factor as to why a lot of developers might believe in this, but this is all purely speculation on my part. But I'm just saying, it wouldn't surprise me if that was the reason because, again, traditional blockchain technology, while it is pretty good, and it is working as of right now, it just has several limitations, generally speaking, in a lot of cases when compared to a directed acyclic graph. For instance, in aspects of scalability, usually, again, a directed acyclic graph is typically a little bit better in some cases. Also, on top of that, in terms of energy consumption, furthermore, in terms of speed. So there's some slight advantages there. However, these differences may not necessarily matter to the retail side of things, but for an enterprise, they do. For developers, sometimes they do, right? So, again, I did like what I saw recently when it comes to Hedera. Now, ultimately, why am I still hypothetically thinking about $3? Even though I don't have to think about it, but I'm thinking about it. Well, here's the thing. At $3, the market cap of HBAR at that point would be around 128 billion. And that's if we consider the current circulating supply of HBAR. In which case, is that really something so outlandish? I mean, okay, people like to say that sounds like a ridiculous amount. Well, BNB reached over 100 billion in market cap, and I've even seen BNB do that in 2021. The thing is this, I get it, BNB is cool, but at the same time, I mean, isn't Hedera just way cooler? At least that's the way I take a look at it. Now, this is just my personal opinion. I'm not saying on anyone's behalf, right? But I just feel like Hedera is trying to do a lot more things in terms of the revolutionary vibes. That's the thing. I mean, sure, BNB chain is cool, but come on, right? Hedera Hashgraph, it doesn't even utilize traditional blockchain technology. So if BNB could do that years ago, Would HBAR have a tough time reaching also over 100 billion in terms of market cap if there was a hypothetical altcoin season? We'll wait and see, but it wouldn't necessarily, I think, surprise me too much considering the revolutionary, I think, aspects of Hedera. Keep in mind, Hedera has a governing council that includes Google, that includes Dell, that includes Mondelez. Mondelez, by the way, in case someone has heard of Cliff, like the Cliff Bar and also Oreo, those are the brands of Mondelez, by the way, right? So that's pretty massive. Also, there's many more, but I'm just saying when it comes to the governing council of Hedera. Also, FedEx, they recently joined the Hedera Council. Keep in mind, FedEx, like I'm talking about the one that's a competitor when it comes to UPS. Yeah, FedEx supposedly joined the Hedera Council. So what a lot of these large enterprises care about a council, or should I say a governing council, if the project was irrelevant, if the project was not good, I highly doubt that they would believe in it just because it's cool. Because I think sometimes these enterprises, they value substance, right? So they might or might not see it when it comes to Hedera. But then again, if those large enterprises are in the governing council, I would presumably assume that maybe they might hypothetically care about the fundamentals of Hedera. But yeah, we'll wait and see. I mean, I'm just hypothetically assuming here. However, if I take a look at it as well, Hedera, despite a lot of people telling me, oh wow, they don't really care about the retail side of things. Well, they do, I think, somewhat. Take a look at, for instance, the McLaren Racing Partnership. I think that was pretty cool, not to mention what they did with Karate Combat. I think that was pretty cool as well. So, I mean, they're doing things. That's the way you take a look at it. It may not be the most popular, but at least there's some activity. Now, in the grand scheme of things, people like to tell me, who cares about development activity when it comes to Hedera, or let alone any other project at a time like this? Well, I think that showcases where the developers might be heading, right? Because if a lot of developers are doing things when it comes to a project, they're trying to create things, what happens? If developers build something, that thing becomes used, maybe there's a lot more adoption. And if there's more adoption, popularity increases, in some cases naturally, and also on top of that, that could equal more attention, right, in the long run overall, in which case, wouldn't that help it if there was a hypothetical altcoin season, or even just let alone moving forward? Wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. So I think development does matter, but it takes a while. It's more of a slow build. It's like a John Mayer song, in my opinion, where, I might have to listen to it a couple times, 5 times, whatever, to really kind of get the vibe of it. And if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. But it's not really like an instant gratification type of song. This is not like a Pitbull song where it's just a party vibe from the beginning. It's a little bit of a different vibe. It's like a John Mayer song. That's the way to take a look at it. It's more of a slow build. Sometimes when I think about developers believing in a project, and then that takes quite a while. So when it comes to Hedera, it's more of a, I think, serious project, right? It's not meant for fun or any sort of instant gratification. I don't feel like that is the case. So if I kind of feel like that's the vibe, I'm just going to wait, because I am dollar cost averaging only once a month. That's it. Not any less, not any more. But that's personally what I'm doing. And I'm going to stay patient. But that's about it. I cannot control whether or not there's going to be an altcoin season, but what I can control is myself, and I'm just going to be waiting in case. That's my mindset. I don't have to, but I'm voluntarily choosing to do so because I'm just a fan when it comes to Hedera. And I'll be sure to make more updated videos when it comes to Hedera, so hopefully I'll see y'all there. It's been Lee the Captain. I'm out. Peace. Bye.